Well, how do you tell that the weekend is already in the house? Clearly by the music that precedes us. And you can always also know when you look at the faces and the smiles that are all over your TV right now. It's Good Morning Uganda Friday special. Welcome yet to another day and the last day of this week as we are headed closer to the weekend. Friday, 3rd of March 2023. My name is Philomena Masco. Robert Chiavu Nyonyitono, but Fridays, he's Uncle Bob officially, and of course, Molen Kenyana. Join me this morning. The showers have been crazy, I must say, from as early as about 4 a.m. They were really intense, and it's no wonder that our roads are a bit wet. When I was on my way here, I did see a lot of debris in the roads, and I don't know how this is going to, sort itself out. And again, I do anticipate that there would be some type of traffic, unless, of course, things turn out differently. But hey, today being a Friday, we're celebrating a lot as a country. We do have the USCE results for our senior 6 students who sat for their papers last year. They're expected to be released today, but we are also celebrating the International Day for the Wildlife. And we have been quite in the mood this whole week to make sure that we give you the anticipation for today. So yes, there is that and very much more to celebrate today. But Uncle Bob, Friday is here. How are you? Are you feeling okay? Are you ready for the weekend, or it's just vibes?
Well, this is an interesting Friday. I just pray that it doesn't rain later on in the day.
Okay.
For people who enjoy nightlife. I'm not saying I'm any of them, but for people who enjoy
maybe
nightlife.
you were once and now.
Yes, I was once. Rain is not a good thing for them. And Ugandans now, the month has ended. So even our brothers in the entertainment industry are expecting to reap big now, because they know some have been paid, so they have something to spend on them. Some have finished taking back children to school, so the pressure has kind of reduced. So they're expecting to have better collections. And still on the same side, even religious leaders. Chimwe Chekumi, now is the time the tithe is coming, and many churches will be preaching tithing because they know you still have something on your account. So much as the other side is expectant to have huge turn up, even the church is expectant to have huge numbers, and of course that reflects in their giving. So it's an interesting Friday. We just hope it doesn't rain throughout the weekend, mostly in the late hours from 7 there. That is when
the rain should spare us.
The rain should spare us so that people can enjoy part of it. For our brothers who are now expecting their results, the brothers and sisters, all I'm going to say is there's a scripture in the Bible. One of my good friends used to tell me, and it says, what man sows, so he reaps. My brother, my sister,
yes,
the results are coming back. Be content with what you've gotten, because that is what you are able to get. Of course, sometimes there are other underlying factors. That's why you find that a very bright child may not perform excellent at that. But otherwise, all factors constant, the points you got is what you
actually
worked for.
Yeah.
But there's something very interesting, and I want to ask you people. Have you ever gone for an HIV test?
Oh, yes.
Allow me to get your experience briefly before I go to Molly.
It's very interesting because even when I know that there is no reason as to why I should be worried, I am always a bit nervous, trust me. Every single time I go for an HIV test, I think there's a little bit of nerves here and there, but for the biggest percentage, I'm okay. But the nerves are there, even when I don't have any solid reason as to why I should be feeling nervous.
Permit me to ask Molen also.
Please.
Molen, what was your experience like? Good morning.
Oh, yes.
I want that specifically, yes, then I continue.
Good morning, and of course to our family, good morning, and welcome to a special Friday. There's a reason why we make it special now. Bob, I think the last time I had a test was probably a year or two back. Usually there are those mandatory tests that we do if you have some kind of, course or training that we have in my field. Sometimes aviators can be weird. But anyway, so I remember having a little bit of nerves, but Like I knew I was fine, but I don't know. I didn't see why my previous results couldn't do. I'm like, why do I have to be exposed? First of all, I have a problem with the needle. I'm afraid of the needle. So I was like, this is unnecessary for me to go through this, the nerves, and then all that. Yet I am totally okay. Here are my previous results, and unfortunately, they couldn't help me. So
I mean, there is a lot
I had
of
to
time
take
that's
another
developing,
test. Yeah,
yes.
but I know the anxiety about it. Although I think it's okay to do. I mean, at this point, I don't think it's very healthy for you to not know your status. You'd rather know and deal with it. So that anyone should take comfort in knowing that it's better I get the results than just being there.
Now,
Yeah.
yesterday, Ministry of Health launched self-testing kits.
Yes.
HIV self-testing kits. So, like they invited us, we went for the launch. Now they said, but journalists here, it is time you know your status. Please kindly queue up if you feel you would like. I want to tell you about 35. The guy emphasized, Banamaulide, journalists, please, lead by example, please. No one was standing in the tent. I stood up and said one night, tugende.
You
one
on your own.
I was on my own. I said, what is wrong? Bakutemerawo akantu ne kamera tomanya gy'ogisudde. I was like, so, and when I entered this lady was also very disturbing. She said, Robert, supposing it turns out that you're positive, what do you do? That is after, she has the results.
Of course.
Then she said, but even if someone is positive, the truth is, you can still live a normal life when you're on medicine. That's when I began saying, what is happening? This woman is talking about what do you do if you know you're positive.
Since the direction she's taking
you can still take medicine. Then I went in the world of flashbacks. I'm like, but no.
Things are not adding
Finally,
up.
she said,
Or
well,
things are adding
stay
up.
negative here, your results. Now I went back. So a friend of mine said, but what had happened? I'm sorry, here, my results, brother. So can we go? Still people refused. Now with this self-testing kit philo, a husband is going to come back home because you can test on your own.
Yes.
Then says, hey, muchara, bring the finger. I also tip. Now you find either you're both positive or one is positive, there is no counselor around, then you'll hear chiboko.
I don't know whether it's a good idea though.
Yes.
I feel like most of these tests should be done in presence of medical personnel, a counselor at that, because when you do it at home,
Yes.
there is a reason why there is pre-counseling and even after getting the results, whether you're negative or positive, they're supposed to give you some kind of counseling, tell you how to keep safe and all that. Now you're at home, and how do you deal with that emotion?
Oh, it is a Friday, you've picked more than somewhere, things are all, then you say, but I have these things, let's first check. Then you find out, I've survived. But then,
We could be seeing a lot of cases resulting from this. It is not safe. I'm telling you guys, it's not safe. I mean, I would rather you go to a hospital.
if you're
and
going
get a
out
test from
today,
there.
make sure you have a self-testing kit in case of any eventuality that you test and say,
It's very important. It's really
Yeah.
very important, and especially now that we have been seeing numbers of HIV patients really going up. So
so you can comfortably move with it in your handbag.
Please go and get all those self-test kits, and I mean, it doesn't have to be cautious. It's your life at the end of the day. So if you don't take care of it, who's going to take care of it for you? Anyway, there is quite a lot that we can talk about, but right now we'll get into our local stories and, of course, getting into the international radar, what is happening around the globe as well. Robert.
Well, looking at our local stories, we'll begin with Kampala Capital City Authority, which is KCCA, where there is now a probe looking at the KCCA budget. Kampala Capital City Authority technical team has been directed to produce work plan of all its directorates for all the 137 activities of 46 outputs for the budget of the financial year 2021-2022 of 316.6 billion. The chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, Joe Senyonyi, said the Auditor General could not assess implementation of all the activities because KCCA was not able to quantify and provide work plan to justify its expenditure. The National Resistance Movement Party, NRM, has signed a working agreement with the newly elected Member of Parliament for Sayre County, Emmanuel Omoding Okebe. This agreement was signed yesterday, the 2nd of March, at the NRM Secretariat. Present was the NRM Secretary General and the Government Whip Homsom Obua and Sports Minister Peter Ogwang. And relatedly, regarding politics, National Unity Platform leader Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has refuted allegations of his bodyguards' torture of one Eric Mwesigwa. He was speaking at a press conference at the party offices in Kamwokya. Sources at Defense and Veteran Headquarters, however, say they are in possession of impeccable evidence implicating National Unity Platform in this mess. And finally, from the local scene, the Ministry of Health, with support from the United States government, have launched the Check Now HIV/AIDS self-testing services, targeting over 30,000 university youth in a pilot of 8 public university and private universities across the country. The new service, which targets to reduce HIV/AIDS prevalence by 50% by the year 2030, has been launched by the Health Minister, Dr. Jane Ruth Aceng, and America's Ambassador to Uganda, Ntao Brown, at Serena Conference Center in Kampala.
And looking at international stories, starting off with what is happening in Greece, the death toll from Tuesday's train crash in Greece has increased to 57. Eleni Zagelidou, one of the 10 coroners working on the investigation, said DNA had been taken from 57 intact bodies. And the government minister said austerity during Greece's economic crisis in the 2000s had contributed to a lack of investment in the railways. Now, rail workers held a one-day strike on Thursday following the disaster, blaming government neglect. More than 2,000 people protested for a second day in Athens and Thessaloniki, shocked by the disaster near the city of Larissa. Rescue workers are still going through banned and backward carriages searching for victims. This was the most difficult moment, a rescuer told several media houses. Instead of saving lives, we have to recover bodies. Now, China leads the world in 37 out of 44 critical technologies, with Western democracies falling behind in the race for scientific and research breakthroughs. A report by an Australian think tank has found China is in a position to become the world's top technology superpower, with its dominance already spanning defense, space, robotics, energy, the environment, biotechnology, artificial intelligence, advanced materials, and key quantum technology, according to the report by the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. The key areas dominated by China include drones, machine learning, electric batteries, nuclear energy, photovoltaics, quantum sensors, and critical minerals extraction, according to the Critical Technology Tracker released on Thursday. China's dominance in some fields is so entrenched that all of the world's top 10 leading research institutions for certain technologies are located in the country, according to ASPI. Yes.
And in Nigeria, the Labour Party leader Peter Obi, the third-placed candidate in the Nigerian presidential election, has promised to challenge the result in court. Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the governing All Progressive Congress was declared winner and president-elect on Wednesday, securing 37% of the vote. Now, the main opposition, People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, received 29% of the vote, while Obi gained 25% of the vote, according to the Independent National Electoral Commission. The people of Nigeria have again been robbed by their supposed leaders, whom they trusted. We will explore all legal and peaceful options to reclaim our mandate, Obi said in a Thursday afternoon in the news conference in the capital, Abuja. We won the election and we will prove it to Nigerians. Please do not despair. He did not provide any evidence to support his claims. And Egyptian antiques officials say they have confirmed the existence of a hidden interim corridor above the main entrance of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Video from an endoscope showed an inside of the corridor, which is 9 meters long and 2.1 meters wide. The officials say it could have been created to redistribute the pyramid's weight around the entrance of another, as yet undiscovered chamber. Now, it was first detected in 2016 using an imaging technique called the MOGRaph. A team of scientists from the Scan Pyramid project were able to sense density changes inside the pyramid by analyzing how it was penetrated by the muons, which are the byproducts of the cosmic rays that are only partially observed by a stone. Now, the non-invasive technique detected an empty space behind the northern face of the Great Pyramid, about 7 meters above the main entrance, in an area where there is a stone chevron structure. Further tests were carried out with radar and ultrasound before a 6-millimeter wide endoscope was fed through a tiny joint in between the stones that make up the chevrons.
Well, looking at the papers and top stories, a Daily Monitor, A-level results, test science policy win. Of course, there is a question of concern here where questions will linger at today's release of USCE results on whether the bureaucrats report solutions or they have done for years only reiterate reasons why performance in sciences is poorer than in arts, despite higher government attention to the former. And fuel crisis fears grow over truckers' strike. And a steel truck crashes into school and kills pupil. Very sad. And 100 church members go missing. Where, how, why? Of course, all of those questions will be answered in the Monitor today. And government unveils HIV self-test kit for students. And Makerere lecturers ordered to acquire PhDs or lose jobs. And don't forget your scoop pull out for more entertainment news in this paper today. Well, there is a lot that we'll be talking about and of course entertainment as well, because it's Good Morning Uganda Friday special. We will go for a break. When we get back, still a lot to unpack for you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda. Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay? If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay? Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by
Get away with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Certainly it would have made his famous father proud. And the 18-year-old Gambian left foot on the left foot. Oh! Oh my God! The penalty area. That is sensational. The Tunisian defense have been caught out, caught cold. It's a brilliant little.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda Friday, special 3rd of March 2023. 5 minutes past 7 a.m. Philomena here with Uncle Bob and Molan in the house on this cold Friday morning. And I can still feel and hear the drizzles out there. So you need to be a little bit more cautious, more careful on the roads out there, depending on where you're going. It's a Friday, so really we don't want to hear very sad news about accidents and all of that. So please be careful on the road. And like I did say at the start, I do anticipate some bit of traffic. So I would encourage anybody and everybody intending to use the roads to practice a bit of patience on those roads and maturity and some sobriety while there, because I know a lot can really happen. Excitement, pressure, anxiety, everything. So I would urge you to be very, very, very careful on the roads. But this morning's discussion, well, we do have different categories of people in our societies, and they do influence each and everybody around them in totally different ways. And this morning, I want us to draw our focus on our celebrities, especially, I do understand that the most celebrities we have here in Uganda belong to the music industry. And clearly, if you mention some names, everybody will know who you're talking about, even when you just describe certain people without mentioning their names. That is how well we know these people and how well we would actually want to be very familiar with them. But specifically looking at our musicians, last week and this week as well, it's been making a lot of news, especially some of our artists. Some of the actions they have taken, some of the ways they live their lives, some of the things they do that don't really sit well with the public. And just a couple of days ago, we had one prominent artist who came out to actually apologize, which I believe was such a good thing for some of the actions that he took. He did have a show recently that is Chameleon, and really there were some moments that were captured that he was doing things that really we couldn't agree with, or we didn't feel comfortable with when he was kissing his brother Weasel. And just about, I think, 2 or 3 days ago, he came out with an apology. And on social media, he made statements and all of that, which again, I do believe was a sign of maturity. But this is just an example. We have endless feuds amongst our own artists. These feuds are not low-key, they're actually very high-key. They're all over the place. You know, we are hearing words from one party to another. So there is just too much. Now this morning, I would really love for us to get into it. Some of the actions, some of the words, some of the things that our celebrities or our artists or anybody else there that is quite in so much in the public eye, do they understand the kind of impact and influence they have on their fans, on the general public? Because people will always have something to say when it comes to social media. There is always feedback, responses. When it comes to the media as well, we will talk about it because it's happening. But do they understand how heavy of a burden they actually have, especially people who are in the public eye, the things they do? Do they understand the magnitude of some of their actions and everything, their lifestyles generally? And maybe I would really love for us to have a conversation about that, and how can we try to make sure that we don't have to see things like this happen again. People questioning their morality, people questioning their decency, people questioning all the character traits that they stand for. And maybe I will take it from you, Uncle Bob. I am sure you've rubbed shoulders with a couple of them here and there. And probably we'll start from there. And before we get into the discussion, just to let you know, you could be part of it. Get onto our social media. WhatsApp platform number is 0709-602-592. You could as well use Twitter, #UBCGMU. I will see all those comments, your 2 cents, and most definitely I'll be very happy to share them with the rest of the GMU family. Uncle Bob.
You know, whenever you call me Uncle Bob, it reminds me when I was young, I used to think all uncles have money. Until I became one.
Reality hit. But Uncle Bob, you look like money.
But my uncles then had real money. So it inspires me to work harder.
Makes sense, perfect.
Because some of them were car dealers, like Kamunye Motors. So they would come, and my friend, and I don't know why they used to keep their money in stockings. And it's called Uncle Frank Matovu, commonly known as Senkwaji. So just pull up his trouser, then there is a bundle. Then he brings out notes and asks you, Nkuweko Kaliwa. Like, Uncle Kona, then he gives you like 2, and that was pocket money at school. And they used to time when you are going back to school. I don't know why.
Which I think was the perfect time,
yeah,
really.
They would give you. So recently I go to a person who calls me uncle. I try to fix and what I brought were common notes, and I couldn't do Londa Kokaliwa because in case they picked the chimpanzee, I would But anyway, going back to the subject, you know, it's a Friday, so we do some light moments there to spice up your Friday and begin your weekend. Now, one of the things I've learned, you people, that is hard is managing success. Are you aware? Many people have failed to manage success. Many institutions have failed to manage success. Another thing I've learned is when success gets to your head, you become a societal problem. It's another thing being successful, making a breakthrough, but when you get there, to manage success, it is a hard thing. And the worst for our brothers in the music industry is avoiding drowning. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, this music or entertainment industry, you have what we call abayimbi abagwa. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
The likes of Mikey Azigidi, they came like a bushfire. The likes of John Black, the list is endless. That these guys came, and I'm suspecting even this is it, Ariane Skin. They came. He's also about. They come. They dominate all the airwaves, and now they go. So, our musicians tend to do certain things to avoid that drowning. That yes, they know what it means. They know that if you kiss a fellow brother, you're talking about homosexuality, this is a menace. But you see, you're going to be in the media for the next 3 weeks. Even he who didn't know you will say, but which song is that? Who sang? That is the guy. He sang which song? Then they will go to YouTube to find out who you are. He boxed a bouncer. That is the guy. Which song? Let me go and see this person. You know? There's one female whom I saw one time. Don't even want to mention her name, what she was performing. Then she went, and almost everything that God said hide was brought out. But also people, now they look for her songs. Who remember the Chitone incident by Desire Rosie? They even began advertising. No, Chitona Jakubera yo! Her music had reduced. But now because of what had come out. So, sometimes for you what you think is negative publicity, negative actions, immoralness is pushing this person. Maybe that is where even someone will offer them a collab. Someone will land them a deal. That's why there are things celebrities will do. Now, for example, this kind of bad blood between Sheba and Spice Diana. You'll end up having some promoter organize what they call battle. And these guys will reap a lot of money. So for you, as you think, this Babayomba, they are fighting. Man, it is a strategy. Avoiding drowning in the music industry is something very, very hard that keeps our musicians and makes them go to the extreme just to keep afloat. Because these are mature people. They're not talking about fresh kid. There's this guy, other younger girl that Sydney one time told, go back to school and read book. Is it Fiesta, Superstar? I don't know. We are talking about mature people. When I first heard Chameleon's song, I'm very sure I was below 15 years.
Yes.
Because I remember one time I was in senior 4. I met this guy by then. He was already there. So there is no way we can say that these people. But also, we must not forget that there is a lot of uptake of drugs in this industry. And we must blame this on a few people in the media industry. You know what? There's in the music industry, what they call the big three. You know the big three?
I've had people mention the trio.
Chameleon, Bebe Cool, and Bobby Wine. Those are their stage names. Now, these big three did injustice to our country. In which way? That is why you see most of the young artists coming out today. They take drugs, they must have dreadlocks, they must be kind of rasta, They must be good at fighting, if you've noticed. Because the big three were good at fighting in their times. The big three, one of them even came out and said, I was in some country, I wanted to take weed because here it is hard. So they made it like, for you to make it, drugs is part of it. So, drug consumption. Let a person tell you, they're not even aware they did what you're telling them they did. They will do anything so that they remain floating in the media. So I think for me their biggest problem is managing success and avoiding to drown where at any cost. You know, you people, let me tell you, for us we are in the media, every day we are on TV. And it is your job and becomes something you're used to. Even as we have our challenges, fine. Because there are places you may not go to, there are places you may not eat from. Because remember one time I went to some restaurant I was eating, then there's this fish I used to love so much when I was at campus. I used to eat it around Nakasero, you know Nakasero market up there.
Yes.
So I felt the appetite to go and eat this fish, semutungu. I had just sat, because it's the only place I knew I can find it done the way. Now this kind of waiter came and said, Neno mujayo. I watched you on TV in the morning, and everybody in the restaurant turned and looked at me. You know?
Because of enjoying your semutungu.
And for me, I wanted to eat my semutungu. Yeah. Guys, I excused myself and moved out. Because everyone was wondering, yeah, leave me. You be serious.
You know, it's just done take away.
Hey, you do take away semutungu. So because I felt,
make it worse.
That would, yes.
Putting that whole thing around.
Even us have our challenges. But at least for us to have the media, we're always there. But these guys are fighting for media space, that anything you do, you must keep up. Otherwise, they can forget you completely. But these things we see as immoral, nonsensical, they are doing, they may be negative to society. But to them, that negative coverage, a mature man goes on a building still under construction and starts saying, you young game, and invites the media. So that you don't forget who is Gravity. You know, well, just to give examples,
yes.
Like I may use these names, I don't mean that they are the real, really that is what is happening, but I'm just saying, to mentioning names that are common on certain things. So success and avoiding drowning is the reason we are seeing them behaving and doing funny things.
Okay, and I mean, Molen, this is what I'd really love to hear from you. Robert mentioned about how these people really want to capitalize on what would ideally consider as negative press or negative media. But is that the way to go really for them? Is that the only option they have to make sure that they stay relevant and there is still continuity of their works and I mean drawing attention to what they do? Because I feel like at this point, for a person who is probably trying to promote their work, if they choose to take a certain path, the target audience is going to get distracted. Ideally, if you want to promote your music and you're using a different strategy that is that may be questionable, I may focus on the strategy and I forget, I honestly and lose the attention on what you're trying to sell to me.
Yeah.
So is this the only way they can do this?
And I'm glad you mentioned something about distraction. The audience might be distracted. But I feel like it's not just the audience that will get distracted. Even you yourselves that are involved in that kind of healing will be distracted from what you're supposed to do. I think majorly what we're looking at right now is just, and talking about artists in general, they're just fighting with the whole identity thing. I mean, and you just don't have even to go far. Just here in Uganda, Robert clearly put it some time back also quoting the 3 top artists. We have already put a quote. And now how are others supposed to measure up? Because we are convinced that, okay, these are 3 top artists. So the rest of them are just, trying to measure up. And at that point, that is when you lose identity. If you're trying to go for a feud, to go for all these funny stunts, you're losing it. And I think it's not the first time that we are seeing artists create stunts just to get out of whatever or wherever they have been. They fail to make the music, but then they feel like their relevance is going down, the pressure is on. You see another artist bring out new music, they are doing well, everyone is dancing to that, and now we have all these social media platforms. The song is trending on TikTok, and the pressure is too much for them. They feel like, okay, whatever it is. And you know, there's this whole thing about, I mean, when you do something, no bad news is bad news, or press, no press is, yeah, there's no negative press. All those, you know, funny sayings that go around. So they will be forced to do something weird just to get the attention of Ugandans. Before you know it, it's a trending hashtag on Twitter or any other social media platform. They feel like, yeah, I've made it. So cool down for a bit. People are not forgetting you. But now, you're no longer just that artist or a musician, you're just someone that people are making fun of or people are laughing about, and it's not sitting well. And I think people have to also remember, all these celebrities have to remember that there is someone out there looking at you, looking up, you know, for whatever you do. Now, there's one time I actually received a message in my inbox, like one of those rare scenarios where you get to check your inbox on Twitter. And then someone had sent me a message of their young girl. It was a video message. So this young girl was saying, oh, she wants to be like me when she grows up. You know, like, so some of those, I was like, wow. So, like, there is a young girl out there looking up to whatever you do. And these are the people that expect the best out of you. So tomorrow they see that you've put up some weird stunt for you to get to be, you know, after the fame or to be popular at a moment. You have to also remember that there are people who are looking at your actions, which is why actually I think Chameleon had to come out and apologize. Because he realized, yes, it's according to them, I mean, he had been doing it with his brother. I think it wasn't the first time. There was another time they were on stage and still kissed. So he realized, okay, this might be okay with us, but there is a whole audience, there is a whole, you know, fan base that do not agree with it. They see it in a different way, and I have to apologize. And he came out and apologized. At that point, even the timing was kind of bad. We are here talking about homosexuality and all this, and then boom. So it was just a bad timing for that, but also he had to remember that, okay, this is a traditional setting. As Ugandans or as Africans, this is not something that we know is okay. So even when you do some of these things, to you it might be okay, but you are an artist, you're a celebrity. Part of what is keeping you in that fame is because you have a fan base. And a fan base, these are people that are within your community, within your country, even outside of Uganda. So you have to look out for their interests as well. Otherwise, you would be doing whatever you want, which is why you look at a lot of celebrities getting it wrong. And then again, we do have this whole thing called socialites. I don't know where these ones really fall. Yeah, because for them, they do not have any line of work. They don't have any line of work. I mean, they are brand ambassadors. They're just socialites. They pick up on everything, anything. And these ones go with a trend. So Rihanna put on something like this, this kind of beach wear. I'm also going to put it on because, you know, this is the new thing around. They are losing it. And that is where we bring in what you asked earlier on. Do these celebrities or artists realize their impact on society? Because the moment you bring that on, then even a generation that is following you, the youth, will be like, okay, maybe this is the latest thing to do. And then they will pick on it. It's no wonder right now we're talking about issues of homosexuality. Because most of them actually have been promoted by big musicians out there, international celebrities that have been involved, or even the movies themselves. You realize recently, you actually can't be watching a series without a character about gay couple. Yeah. They are there in almost every skit, comedy, even in animations now. So that is how far fame has gone ahead to promote certain characters, that if we are not careful, it's going to be the new normal. We're going to be looking at all these people that are in the public eye doing things and we think it's okay, when it's actually not. I am telling you, there are a lot of people that could have, a lot of kids that could have picked a negative idea from what they saw on stage with Chameleone and his brother. A lot of people could have picked up on that. So it's just unnecessary sometimes before, and this is, I think more than ever, we have to think about the whole saying of think before you act. Like some of the things they need to actually think about it. But you see, that is also that is also another wrong thing in this industry. Why can't musicians, specifically I think artist musicians who go on stage, just count on their sobriety? I mean, why can't you just be sober?
They need the thing to give them the vibe.
And musicians who have gone for shows and they are practically, doing some of these drugs straight up, and they've been called out probably by the Uganda Musicians Association. I know of a certain artist who had the audacity to say, "I did not do anything wrong." All right. I mean, people know that I do this. In fact, for me, I was doing this to actually show people what they shouldn't be doing. I mean, there was a whole twisted explanation that he made, and I was like, he's going to get away with this, by the way, and he did.
Because they make
it,
because they make it part of their identity. So and so is known for doing drugs, so this is his stage thing. So even when he comes,
those watching, the young ones, if they want to excel in music like that character, drugs cannot be part away from them. They have to take the drugs because their role model takes drugs, and they believe it is these drugs that give him the good voice, the vibe, to that way of doing even the impossible, lack of fear, the energy.
Even the dress code, by the way, you see most of the artists, the way they show up on stage, that is something that again also speaks to their audience, to their fans, and everyone will want to pick up on what they're doing. And I think, we're just going in another direction. And there is this thing that has now come up. Sometime back we used to see a lot of feud between the male artists, but now it is now again crossing much more into the female artists. And first of all, you look at even the kind of feud that is going on, very unnecessary, very uncalled for. You're two different artists. One is not even close to what the other person is performing, but you also want to pick up on them. And I feel like at this point, they're not just doing it for fame. Some people are just feeling so insecure with where they are at. They feel like picking up on a big artist is just going to help them get there. And it goes down to what I was saying in the beginning. We have ranked musicians, we put them at a certain level. So for those that are trying to get up to their level, they just have to pick up some kind of, some kind of feud. Otherwise, they are not getting there. So I would want them to focus on the music, really. Focus on what is getting you into that fame. Focus on what is your relevancy there, not picking on each other. Because we've also seen a lot of artists that have actually been loved for being in their line. We do have gospel artists that don't even have to go through that. And we still love them. We still dance to their music. We still, there's nothing wrong with you having your own identity. Some of the things are really uncalled for, and I think at the end of the day, they just have to go back and realize the impact that they have on their fans, the impact they have on the higher moral ground in this country. Otherwise, this is a very fragile time, a very sensitive time that anything you do, anything you post, anything you say, can just be misinterpreted. So they have a role to play, because we know that this is also a group of people that can change a lot in communities. I've seen a lot of topics that have come up in Uganda. The moment artists or celebrities pick up on them and they post, they actually do a lot of influence. Recently we had an issue about the teenagers that were fighting for a man, the Nicole issue. We did see a lot of celebrities come up on social media to post, and that kind of pressure put in a lot of pressure to the security agencies, I guess, as well, but also shining more light on what the artists that came out to condemn such an act. We could see them, their screenshots on WhatsApp statuses, meaning that everything that they do has a big influence on how society perceives certain narratives that are going on around the country. So they should use that platform to actually do good and, forget all this cheap popularity.
Maybe just to chip in briefly, I also want to condemn our fellow people in the media, because, you see, there are things years back that would never make it to the media.
Yes.
I feel journalists much as you want to give society what they want, but you have a role to set the agenda. You have a role to direct this country in a certain direction as media personalities. The content we give out should not only be what we think or we feel society wants, because society could go rotten, and we have a role to direct that. But what is happening today, an artist does a very stupid thing, I'm sorry to use that word, maybe a very immoral thing. Then all entertainment shows are looking for that person to give him space. You get it? You hunt for him even if he hides himself in hell. Cameras find him there.
Maybe they're looking for them to ask them or to make sure they give accountability. Why did they do that? But also maybe they're being looked for. The airtime they're being given is not exactly for what it should be.
Because I feel airtime should be valued.
But you see, there are also shows like gossip shows. They are very existence.
We are promoting
upon that.
We are promoting certain things as the, once the media, and I'm saying this very carefully, if the media lets itself to be driven by the public, what we think they want, and we lose all values, we shall wake up. That's why Molen talked about now all TV shows, sometimes series have that gay content in them, LGBT content, because the media has failed to position itself at a position saying we must set the agenda, we must be patriotic, we must, you see, to look at Uganda away from today. What is the content we give? How do you bring someone, because these were brothers and you're hunting for him all over?
Yes.
You get it? To say what? Someone beats a person thoroughly, and then you invite that one in studios who beat a bouncer and all teeth almost went out to come and, so I think media should also be we should love our country.
Yes.
There's so much we think, because people want to hear obscenity. So are you going to set up a show?
Because you want to capture a big chunk of the audience.
A big chunk of the audience, because now when you bring programs of Kwemura, people want witchcraft. Listen to some of these local radio stations. Hours and hours.
But UCC actually came in to regulate a bit some of this content.
But also UCC has a problem.
Yes.
Why am I saying so?
They pushed some of these shows to later
on in the night where they go.
They don't, and these guys are tactful. What was pushed later, they rebranded in some way, and it still happens. So I think the media, much as we're talking about these socialites, the celebrities, we also must be very conscious, because some people, what they see on TV, what they hear on radio, they take it as Bible truth. As Bible truth. And even some media personalities have also become a problem themselves, to the viewers and to them themselves.
They are a danger to themselves.
They're a danger to society.
Somebody needs to save them from themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
You find, how do you praise, now, for the musicians, they have targets. We could say, some beef, and this is going to end in a battle. They call them music battles. And I'm predicting there is some situation that a promoter is going to come up and say, I have a deal, let's stage a show. And we shall turn up in huge numbers. At the end of the day, each of these will walk home with some money. And these are things that set up these precedents. Later on, you're going to have a society where if it means walking naked, because an artist dressed naked, the followers will walk naked. It means drugs, because someone took enjagaza on the stage to make him kwagala. Young people all take drugs enjagaza, and we shall have people come in studios and take enjagaza, because we know the public wants it. That is what they want. That 90% of Uganda now taking Njaga. A show should have how you take Njaga. I think there is something we are losing.
Well, we're talking about fame, money, and morals. How does this influence the public? How does the behavior from our celebrities, people who are in the public eye, influence the public? And by the way, I don't want to cut this only to the celebrities, even our very own leaders. You're in the public eye everybody knows you, everybody sees what you're doing. So if we have... I just wanted to put it out there.
Those ones, please.
So are you saying there is a possibility that... So are you saying there is a possibility that we can change, we can at least try to push or pressure the celebrities to change, but the leaders, we need to put them in their own category.
In their own van.
They are not that flexible. But anyway, away from that, now that we have seen the impact and we have appreciated that they actually do have an influence on different groups of people, I mean, what would be one of the best ways to actually curtail this or to control this? I do want to believe in the whole concept of management of some of these artists. And I've seen we do have some management companies here in Kampala. We do have people who have decided to invest in that kind of concept. And I must say, it has worked out for some people. There is a category of artists that I've seen, they have proper management. I swear to God, you would never see these people in any type of scandal. All they do is they will come, give you their music, and that's just about it. When you see them on social media, they're promoting their music. And tell you what, we actually love the music. We do have some of these people who have done that. So what happens to the people who some of these artists that cannot really get into this type of this system? Is it that these management companies are expensive, or maybe they are there but they also don't know what they are doing? How come that some people are pulling off this and the others have completely failed? Because success without proper management and handling, clearly, it is going to fail you. It's going to become a negative thing on your life. So why are we not succeeding with the whole concept of management here? We have seen other international celebrities that have been handled properly by their management, and things are really working out for them. So where does the difference come in here? Maybe just to get to pick your brain, Mollen, on this.
Well, I think there is a local saying, I don't know how to translate it, but something about when you overstay in an area, you end up growing characters of that same area. So I think this is how most, and I want to talk about, again, the music industry in Uganda. They are so comfortable in their own box that they have picked on what happens here to be all they can live for. And that is in relation with looking at how music has evolved now internationally. Ugandan musicians are still doing things that were done 50 years back or even 10 years back. They kind of, and you talked about some kind of battles. These are things that were done some time back. I mean, music has moved on. We don't need that. We don't need some kind of battle to get who is good. And I'll make a comparison with Nigerians, the Nigerian music industry. These are people that are very supportive of each other. And it is no wonder their music has crossed over internationally. You will have one artist come up with a song, and all over Nigeria, all the artists will be in support of that new music that has just come out. And a Nigerian musician will be in the US, and they will be singing their music and then end up actually playing a new music from one of the artists from Nigeria. That is trending. And for me, that is commendable. You don't see it here in Uganda. You don't. They just have grown on this whole idea of developing your own self and then having rivalry with each other to just, grow cheap fame that has not even taken the music industry to any level or crossing borders. It's no wonder when you see artists that have actually gotten nominations, and then we talk about Eddie Kenzo in that case, who has gotten a Grammy, who has gotten BET. He's always being dragged into funny feuds around by his own...
Doesn't tell others how he wins.
But you see, that is not what they are looking from him. They are looking at what has he done wrong. So when he gets a Grammy nomination and everyone is just okay with it, it's normal, they play it cool, no one wants to actually popularize it. But the moment he does something weird, everyone now picks on it. So they're picking on the negativity, they are not promoting the music, they're not saying that how do we better the music industry. So I think it is one thing to also want to do what is comfortable in Uganda. It's another to want to develop your music line. Cross borders, it's not only Kenzo that is supposed to be getting these nominations. We have good artists here that could have gotten a lot of miles. Nigerians, you will find about 5 Nigerian artists are being nominated. And it has become a normal for them because they have promoted the music actually. But for us here, we're just promoting rivalry. And also I think it goes into, again, what I said earlier about identity. We have the musicians that you probably talked about, and I would give an example of Juliana Kanyomozi. Yes, she has set this huge precedent, but also you have to look into the fact that she's never really involved in a lot of scandals. Do your music, promote the music. It doesn't even have to be about management. It's about your character. They're what they do.
Yes.
Most of these musicians, by the way, pick on funny things that even if they had management wouldn't be involved. Someone goes on social media
can only
and
do
says something
so
so
much,
weird.
yes.
Yeah. So the management will focus on your music, how to promote it. But your character, that is something that can explode at any point, and they are doing it with social media now. So it's just that even when we do that, even when we have the management around, even when we have graduations, some of their characters are never going to change unless themselves, they realize that, okay, this is not taking me anywhere. And I think also you look at some of the organizations that celebrities or musicians have tried to create that are almost doing nothing to address some of these issues. Because now, if you have an association that is supposedly leading artists around, and at this point you're taking in everyone in the entertainment, comedians, and you know, everyone in the entertainment industry, you're not regulating how they relate with the public, or some of the things they are not called out for the bad characters that they do, then you're also failing as an association. You're not just talking about how to promote the music, but how about their effect on society. I think that is one area that can also be looked in. Some of those associations should be doing more than just talk about the music, and you hear them asking for money, we need money for this, we need money for that. But what are you doing? How is your influence in the society? That is something that should be addressed as well.
You know, when you talk about the associations, it reminds me of also the Born Again community where we have pastors. That some people are bigger than these associations.
Yeah, but then why are you there in the first place? And we see that the ones that you're actually calling
have little they can do. It is like when Sister Philo asked about this issue of management. One, those management companies are aimed at making profits. You find that they only find musicians that have made very few, like maybe Schwanks, that come up and identify talent. Because for them to manage you, they're not doing it on voluntary basis. They want to earn profits. Yeah. So if you've not made a breakthrough, it is very hard for you to find a managing company or a manager to manage you. Do you know why? Because it is from the proceeds you make that they can get paid. It's from your music that they can get paid. Now, these upcoming musicians, how do they make a breakthrough for them to be identified by these companies is where they end up doing the things we are criticizing and saying, no, these are wrong things. We shouldn't have them in society. So we still have that problem that you must have made it for you to be seen, because they're not doing voluntary work. It is not ministry. So that is another challenge.
But you also have to position yourself in terms of talent. I mean, some of these, we have seen, and it's good you brought out an example of Swans. Swans actually has picked up young talent. Before they break through, they identify talent. But the moment you're also just a breakthrough artist and you're now already involved in all these scandals, there's no management that will want to get associated with you.
Some will try because they're getting
because you're not, but you won't get the best.
But also, these musicians, you know, how can I say it? I'm looking for a polite word to use. We have artists that are talented. Then we have those that are striving on about God's grace, I don't know. That in them, that's why they never live for a long time. In them, you don't see, it is hard for you even to manage them. But somehow they make a breakthrough, maybe one song or two, and from there, they have to avoid drowning. Yet, for these investors, the likes of Swangs and many other managements, when they look through, they may not find talent. But for me, I also want to condemn society, much as we are talking about these artists.
We have a lot to contribute.
Yes. society, you know, an apple doesn't fall far from the tree. These are staying in society. And unfortunately, what we should condemn as society, we are accepting wholeheartedly. When a certain artist comes on stage and does something, you find his fans in support of that artist. And this, I don't know why Ugandans, when we like, all I use the word love, we don't see the wrong. Have you noticed? Let Ugandans be liking a politician, even if he speaks nonsense or does nonsense.
We are going
we shall justify.
We justify their actions. We
their
find
actions.
a way of, you know,
let's like a musician. Even if he does immoral things, someone will say, but you see, those are artists.
Even quote the Bible in some. I saw someone quoting the Bible, and I was
but
like,
you
wow.
see, Robert, that is not. He's not a doctor. He's not a lawyer. By him, what do you expect them to do? You know?
Yeah. So we've lowered their standard to that point.
We've lowered their standard, but we've also accepted the things they do. If one time we hosted this comedian, was it Omar?
Yes.
When he said the comedy industry today has turned into obscenity, and people pay. Go to some of these comedy shows. They are on tribes, they are on women buttocks, they are on men with the small things, then long things, and the people are laughing, they are paying. And sometimes I watch the clips and you look at a person says a very, and the people are laughing, Wah! They're like, but where has our society gone? And the next one is there, they are yearning to go back. So we are not shunning these people, even as we have a role to play. A musician sings and squats and shows, hey, I don't want to miss away. So society has greatly also played, and this played a very great role in the nonsense we see artists do today.
Well, while we are still talking about it, I do have some comments coming in from our viewers. And this person says, it's not about game, money, or morals. It has something to do with Malala. What is Malala in English?
Pride, I think.
In Uganda, you'll fail to understand the levels of celebrity status. Well, I also do have Kazire Fred Kazireje Fred saying that actually mine is both positive and negative. Positively, some artists like gospel singers have really extremely actually tried to, you know, shape morals and discipline in amongst people, especially children. However, the other side, some artists have really done more harm than good. They have promoted all levels of immorality. They've planted all kinds of indiscipline. They have literally poisoned the generation through how they present themselves and what they release to the community. Well, thank you so much, Fred. And I do have also feedback coming in here from George Owere, who says that most of the impact is actually leaning more into the negative side. We don't know what happened and where the transition happened from the music we used to have back in the good old days. We still enjoy the music without any obscenity that was attached to it. However, if I'm going to make comparisons to the current music, there is nothing good I may have to say, so I will leave it at that. Okay, thank you.
Comparing themselves to the dead and
well,
they're the greatest.
Oh, I mean, there is Borisia Rothamio saying that celebrities are often strong role models, especially for young people. They can be powerful forces in our lives, giving us hope and inspiration, which can help us see the world through different ideas, rather through different eyes, learn about new ideas, and even help make a difference in our communities. Ideally, this should be one of the primary goals, but I think very many of them have really trailed so far away from that. Anyway, we could go on and on, but we have to leave it at that. For now, we'll get into our dailies. The Daily Nation,
hope they're not scared.
And the Citizen as well. Well, the Daily Nation, Ruto MPs set for price war. Clearly, you can see we're still talking about power fights here, and it's very, very... Tighten your belts, the long grains may fail, according to one of Mullen's people. the weatherman says.
Let's plant as early as possible.
But this is down there in Kenya. And looking at education, 160,000 yet report to grade 7 and Form 1. And there is an opinion here asking what is in the granary. Quite interesting. And switching to the Citizen, that is Tanzania, UDSM unveils new employability plan. Put in place effective communication to end wrangling, says Samia, the president of the Republic of Tanzania. And the American who has made Tanzania his home for 33 years. Another story you could get in this paper. And TPDC out to step up switch to CNG use. Well, that's it for our papers. So grab yourself copies here, Daily Monitor, The New Vision, and The Daily Nation, plus The Citizen. It's Good Morning Uganda Friday special. We still have a lot to talk about. We do have entertainment. Molenia will be giving you a lot to look out for. But we do have also the Adore Band that will be giving us some good music. So you want to stick around for all of that. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, if it was an emphatic finish from Mutanwa to bring Zambia level, that's an even better one.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their own way because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay? If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by Gatawo with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial star 165 star 5 star 3 hash to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me, and as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Viola malaika wange kama Viola timwagala kama Viola akumendita kubanga nange jendi mukumento wesiba malaika wange kama viola timwakala kama viola akumendita kuvanga nange jendi mukumeto wesigwa kasterule yumyezi ibibuzo mitule kansubiro kubita lukabali banyamye tuvale vale nemya kasta kadona yomu sifa kuba yenye sangambo wabula fayula gamfo wabunide bawala banje echo techimutisa fayula malaika wange kama fayula timwakala kama fayula kuvanga nange jendi kama viola kama viola kuvanga nange jendi mukonete.
This is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me, and as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Well, if it was an emphatic finish from Mutanwa to bring Zambia level, that's an even better one.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Getting us all warm in here. But then again, it might not be the same case outside. We'll be taking a look at a weather update for this morning that is across the country. We'll be tapping in from our satellites. We're looking at mostly that rainy system that did start on a little bit earlier That is as we're coming into the morning and bringing us rains, especially to the central part of Lake Victoria Basin. That is still over there and progressing quite a bit to the western side of Uganda. We could be looking at more rains coming right over there. That's the system indicated by the red and orange colors right there into blue. Those are the rains that even right now across most areas within Kampala, Entebbe, we're looking at Wakiso, Mukono, we're still dealing with those rains. It looks like there is a much bigger system also likely to progress towards the western side. So Mubende also right now we're talking about rains. Again, more rains also as we speak over Masaka. That is still there and most likely it will be dominating much of this morning. That is also extending further. We're looking at a few clouds also continuing to develop across Midwestern Uganda. So areas of Hoima could also be looking at more rainy weather for you this morning. Also looking at most likely the southwestern part of the country. We already have rains coming through for the Antonde, Remiaga, that area already having rains. Most likely in Mbarara, you can also brace yourselves for more rains coming your way later as the morning progresses. We'll be having that similar system also later in the afternoon. Now we're looking at also the eastern side. We do have also rains across areas of Jinja, Kamuli. We're looking at that system also building up over there. But lucky for you, or unlucky depending on whether you need the rains, we could be looking at a clearing trend for Palisa, Kamuli. Looks like those are moving away, so it's going to be mostly sunny intervals as the morning progresses. Now again for eastern Uganda, we do have a few clouds developing across areas of Soroti towards Kaberamaido. Otherwise areas of Amuria we continue with mostly sunny weather, and that is also across the northeastern part of the country. Kotido, Moroto starting off with mostly sunny intervals. We're looking at also quite a sunny morning. That is across parts of central northern Uganda, Gulu, Kitgum, Padel. We're looking at more sunny weather for you this morning. Yumbe, Arua, Nebi, also quite intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions. Now we might have a little bit of rains developing, especially for the downer side of northwestern across Nebi. That might extend all the way towards Bulisa, but that will be also later on as the day continues. But for now, we're having mostly sunny weather over there. We'll also be looking at some of the forecast models, tapping into what it's going to look like over the weekend, but also the general outlook for Friday. We're looking at mostly, that is the medium range forecast for Africa, looking at a larger view over Uganda for today. Most rains are going to be across the southwestern part of the country. That does extend up to Kabale Highlands, the Rwenzori area. That is where we do have a few green colors right there on the map, and where we do have light blue colors, that is indicating wet weather conditions, but again, not very intense. From what we started on earlier across the Lake Victoria Basin, that might also be within at least the normal ranges. Again, the forecast indicates mostly dry weather for northern Uganda as well as the Karamoja region. That is for today. But then again, as we head into Saturday, basically a repeat of what we're seeing today, especially for southwestern Uganda. We'll continue with those rains across Kabale Highlands as well. And also we do have deeper blue colors indicating much rains again for the Lake Victoria Basin as well as Midwestern Uganda, the Rwenzori area. That is also likely to have most of those rains come through. And we do have at least the lower side of northwestern Uganda, again across areas of Nebi, we could be looking at more rains coming through. That is for tomorrow. Now again, if you're in these areas and you're looking forward to quite a drier day, Saturday might not be it except for areas across northwestern as well as that is the northern area of Uganda. Again, Sunday brings in much more of the sunshine. We look at mostly the forecast indicating dry and sunny weather for much of the country. So yes, that is where you have quite a dry day. If you want to look out between Saturday and Sunday, Sunday looks to be drier. Again, we do have a forecast for rains a little bit towards the Lake Victoria Basin. That is where we have the light blue colors. And southwestern Uganda, also for Kabale Highlands, we do have a few rains expected, but also that won't be as intense as the ones we've been seeing quite for the last couple of days, or even what we're already experiencing today morning. So yeah, that looks a little bit quite okay. But again, not okay for the northern area as well as the Karamoja region, as well as That is the eastern part of Uganda, where we continue to see persistent dry conditions. We're seeing numbers also in terms of temperatures going up. Just recently, we're having maximums of 36 across northern Uganda and Karamoja region. So that is quite intense, and we could be looking at warmer weather even for this period. Now, we do hope that at least as the season continues, or as the March to May rainy season starts to build up, we might have a few rains, especially for eastern Uganda and also across parts of northeastern. But also I want to tell you that might not be much, as this is not a major rainy season for the northern part of the country. So most of the rains will be basically over, that is the southern part of the country. But then again, we'll be taking you through more a detailed seasonal forecast as we start the week on Monday. We'll also continue to look at what you can catch for this weekend, and that is where we get into our entertainment section. We do sometimes look out for the movies, you know, a plot to catch, or even that good book to read. Now, I think a lot of us that love animation, sometimes you just want to see a comedy. This is what this movie is bringing about. If you've had horror movies or serial movies connected to mummies, that is always, you know, a little bit of horror. But there is an animation, that is the movie, The Mummies for 2023. And it takes you through a huge story of what is likely to happen when you have 3 ancient mummies ending up in present-day London and embark on a journey in a search of an old ring belonging to the royal family. Yes, that is what we're talking about now, stolen by the ambitious archaeologist Lord Carnaby. That is something that is now being shown in The Mummies, and of course featuring some of my favorite actors. We do have Sean Bean. Sean Bean is known for his role in that is Game of Thrones, the guy that played Ned Stark in that series. That is Sean Bean right there. And of course you have Eleanor Tomlinson, who is also right in The Mummies, and we'll be bringing you all that comedy. It's just a mixture of comedy. You do have adventure in there and a lot to look out for. Let's take a look into the trailer.
History. A doorway of sorts to afterlife. A world of mummies under the earth. A royal wedding ring.
It's the man who took the ring. The only way to get it back is to go to the world of the living.
Wow! Great! What an adventure! It's beautiful. Walk like an Egyptian. Oh, look! We can use a human chariot! Come on!
It is now showing in cinema, and of course you can catch it at any of your favorite cinema places right there. And I'm trying to imagine Sean Bean, that is aka Ned Stark, playing the whole giant looking for a royal ring. That is one I also want to catch. It's a family movie. It's also something that is good for adventure and comedy. Now, another movie, still talking about comedy, and one of the most loved comedians, I think, globally, Kevin Hart, is back. And this is in a movie, Die Hard. He brings in a little bit of what would have been happening in Die Hard into a Kevin Hart world. That is comedy, of course. We're talking about a series. He has done the first movie, and still about him relating with the entire world. Now, it follows a fictionalized version of Kevin Hart as he tries to become an action movie star. Well, that didn't go well as he was starting in the first movie, but now he attends a school run by Ron Wilcox, where he attempts to learn the ropes on how to become one of the greatest ever. That is Kevin Hart for you. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Claude Van der Velde, director of 4 of the 6 biggest action movies of all time, wants to meet with you. I'm there.
My next project requires a serious, gritty actor. You, Kevin. I want you in the leading role.
Holy shit.
Welcome to Ron Wilcox Action Star School. I'm Ron Wilcox.
The hell happened?
That was your first lesson. Rule number 1, you are forbidden from visiting the outside world. You'll stay here.
Okay, I get it.
Next lesson. I want you to storm the house, find the victim, and bring him to safety. Rule number 2, a leading man must learn not to sweat the small stuff.
What are you talking about, the small stuff? I was on fire, Coach Ron. Coach Ron is crazy. I'm serious, he's nuts. And I think Coach Ron is trying to kill me.
So you're just gonna give up on your lifelong dream? This is your only shot to be a big action star.
You're right. I need to cowboy up. Chitty, chitty, bang, bang. Oh, yeah. The true action hero is tough, he's confident. No! They will take responsibility for their...
You're like a real-life Rambo.
I'm ready right now.
Well, quite a good one right there. And of course, we've seen his action in movies like Central Intelligence, the comedy in Jumanji. That is all Kevin Hart. It is already showing in cinema as well, and now showing in some of your favorite places. You could catch that. Now, also something to follow up, something to look out for, especially if you're looking for action, for sure. You could be, able to catch the movie Creed 3, the third movie in the Creed series, especially the ones done by Michael G. Jordan. And we do look at a series that has ranged from the Rocky. This started way back, following a story in boxing, and before Michael J. did take up the production, and now this is bringing in a little bit of a different twist that we can look forward to in the third movie. Still dominating the boxing world, Adonis Creed is thriving in his career and family life. But when Damien, that is a childhood friend and former boxing prodigy, resurfaces after serving time in prison, what happens then? Now he's eager to prove that he deserves his spot in the ring. Now the face-off between former friends is more than just a fight. To settle with Damien, a fighter who has nothing to lose. Now that is a whole story of what originated from what was from the transition from the Rocky movies into the Creed. You look at what Sylvester Stallone also created right there, and bringing in now Michael B. Jordan, of course, with a lot of action in terms of boxing. And Michael B. has appeared in a lot of movies recently, best known for his appearance in the Wakanda, the first Black Panther, and then Wakanda Forever. He has also been quite involved in a lot of action and boxing movies. Let's take a look into the trailer of what to expect in Creed 3.
The harder it gets. That's life.
Because this is a war. It's a fight, it's a battle.
So, how long have you known each other?
We was like brothers. One day you came back. The past came back too.
There may have been a time when Damien had your back.
No friends in the industry.
But that's not what he's doing now.
My brothers been my brothers, man. They no killing me up.
Before I got locked up, I was the best.
You a coward, bro. And a fraud. Try spending half your life in a cell. Watching somebody else live your life. I'm just getting started, little brother.
I had to draw the line between my brothers and my enemies.
I'm coming for it all.
He's not gonna stop.
Then you make him.
The one and only Adonis Creed, you're the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. 3 years ago, it's been a minute since you've been out in these streets. When I walked away from boxing, I walked away with some unfinished business.
You see that man right there? Do you remember him?
No friends in the industry. I had to draw the line between my brothers and my enemies.
That is dropping in right today, and of course will be also showing in a lot of cinema places. That is Creed 3. A lot of action in there as a man tries to take his place in the ring. That's one movie I really want to catch and enjoy all the action. It seems really tempting to want to watch that. And of course, if you're unable to catch in any of those movies, or still you want to get yourself a read on top of that, I want to recommend this book. Now, a lot of us be in places and you're like, okay, maybe this is my dream place. We're talking about a house. This is a book titled In the Dream House, a book by Carmen Maria Machado. Of course, she was also giving us a memoir of what happened in her life, literally with all the awards gotten in writing, but also real life stories of what could happen when you achieve the fame. Now, with exacting exquisite purpose, also Carmen Maria writes about the complicity of abuse in a home, and also how to get out of those, some of the do's and don'ts that could guide, you know, a life story. That is a book that you might want to catch, especially as we're talking about a whole complex world of, you know, whatever is happening, homosexuality, all that. It's a better way of how to deal with society and still, you know, things around you, and still deal with what is important to you. That's a book right there, and of course taking you much more of you know, what is happening literally. Well, away from that, and if you wanted to do something this weekend, go out, have fun. Some of the events that do come across, and ones that we actually look forward to, are those that have a little bit of touch of culture. Because these ones, you will know what to expect at a certain event. There is a certain thing you will be expecting to see at a certain event. Now, I do have Derek here with me from Derek Events. He will be telling us what to expect for this weekend. Derek, most welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. Yeah. Tell us about what you're uncovering.
Yeah, first of all, my name is Derek Mubanjizi, born in Kawale, raised in Kawale, but right now working in Kampala. I have an event called Owito Moka Festival. It's a cultural event aimed on exhibiting the talents of Western Ugandan people in terms of entertainment and music especially. And food. Please, please mention food in food. Yeah, sure, food. Like we shall have local foods there, we shall have the Ntuli Day. I think Derek, that is one thing I'm looking for. Usually when you associate an event with Bachiga, Banyankole culture, or Batoro, the Ntuli Day comes in handy. So what should we expect? What other activities do you have at this event? The artists, there are certain actions that we can expect to look forward to? Yeah, first of all, about artists, we have a lot of artists, DJs, MCs from all around Western Uganda. Yeah, we have Omega 256 for the artists, Fakzamani, Amani Amaniga, among very many others. Yeah. Owito Omuka Festival happening this Sunday, and obviously sometimes you want to look at how did this come up, what's the idea, what is pushing you to have this event at this particular time of the year? Is there, you know, a theme for it that you're trying to address and bring to Ugandans? Yeah, we've been watching very many interviews that people say Western Uganda artists or artists from other regions of the country are regional artists. So we are trying to create platforms for the artists from other regions so that we can exhibit their talents and push them further, like so that we can all be, like we can also have bigger artists. We can have Eddie Kenzos from Western Uganda, we can have comedians from Western Uganda, we can have we can also have the talents from Western Uganda that can represent us to the world or else to the whole of the country. Well,
And I'm glad that you're also one of the event managers. Just
Yes,
you know, prior to this, we were talking about managing talent and looking
Yeah.
at how artists, you know, influence society. And
Yes.
it's good that you're also talking about regional artists.
Yes.
Do you feel like most of these regional artists also do bring up more of the influence to just their region, or are they trying to also bring in the whole Uganda and move their music or their artistry to the rest of the world? Is that something that as managers promoting most of these events, you're also incorporating while organizing some of these?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now the artists are also playing very, very big roles on pushing their talents to this side. But then they cannot push it alone.
Yeah.
So that's where we come in. That's where you come in as managers, as event promoters, and hand in hand with them, because the artists and the MCs and the DJs that are part of this event have put a very, very, very big hand to this event. Because personally, I don't think I could manage it alone or with the team I have, but it's a whole team that is trying to build up something together so that we can create a change on ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we have had a lot of talented artists from Western Uganda that have not managed to push their thing to the rest of the world just because they are not cooperative. So we are using...
What do you mean cooperative? Is that
like,
in terms of them making the music, or do you feel like they also have outside interference in terms of morals?
Yeah, yeah.
What is your relationship there with the managers, the artists?
Yes.
Are they focused on the music, or are you saying there is a lot of interruptions that come in there?
You know, let me speak this in our local language. Good thing you understand it. Maybe you'll explain it for the people.
Yeah.
Baraja agateri nenigogarati gufa, like you get.
Yes.
Yeah. So combine brains, make bigger things together. You get.
Yeah.
So we've combined power, and we are trying to create something very heavy and stronger than what people have been creating. Because you see, literally, music and entertainment was based on wrangles and maybe beefs between artists, between MCs, between DJs. But right now we are trying to create it together. Leave your wrangles behind, but then let's first push. Whoever gets through it, then we can succeed together.
Yeah.
Because right now we want to get out this mentality of feeling like maybe many people cannot succeed together. I always tell people that when my friend has a job and I also have a job and the other one has a job, no one will complain like, help me with 10K.
Yeah.
But when you have unemployed friends, you'll be there, everyone is calling you 10K, 10K, 10K. But then when we work together and succeed together, everything will literally be fine. Yeah.
I like that. I like that because it speaks a lot. It's relatable. And I think that is something that we need to really promote. I'm glad you're having this event and you're having all these multiple people come together to celebrate music, but also pushing, like you said, from regional level, you want to go national. You even want to go beyond borders. You know, maybe grab that Grammy, grab that BET, like we're looking at. I mean, most times when we talk about such an event, like I said earlier, you're looking forward to certain stuff to have at an event. Now, Derek here tells me there are tickets up for grabs. Now, only if you actually want to be part of this event, you could basically just say what you are expecting to have at this event, Owito Muka Festival. Is that one particular thing, maybe culture related, that you want to see at the event or you're expecting at the event? Just go on our WhatsApp chat and send us what you have. At least about 2 or 3 lucky people could get to win tickets for today and join Derek at such an event. Tell us more about when it's happening, where, and how can people get the tickets?
Yes, the event is happening on Sunday, this Sunday, the 5th of March 2023. Gets open in the day at midday. All day we shall be having fun. Come with your kids. By the way, kids, it's free entrance for the kids. And then the elders, it's 10,000. We have tables that go for 255 people. Yes. Those tables come with our local drinks, our local food, and everything. It will be the vibe of home. When you talk about Owito Muka means, Owito means home, and even Omoka means home. So it's all home.
Yeah.
We are having the vibe of home. We are having this local roasted meat without spices. We have this jacket potatoes, jacket matoke, everything is local. Yes.
I feel like you've stolen the, how do I say it? Okay, but what to expect, I think that is important to know that all that will be around, and of course a lot of fun. Again, where can people get tickets?
We have tickets on smarttickets.com. You can go there for your tickets, and also you can contact us. Is it fine reading the my number?
That's all right.
Yeah, you can also get the tickets through 0755 420926. 0755 420926. We have our Twitter as Owito Moka Festival, Facebook Owito Moka Festival, Instagram Owito Moka Festival. You can go on all those platforms and you can get away of getting your ticket.
Well, there you have it. Very many thanks for joining us, Derek, this morning. Now, that is also a festival that you can choose to go for this Sunday, right in Bokoto, right there. And, well, have a fun weekend. That is something that we always promote. Talking about fun, we still have entertainment in the house. A Doe band right here, ready to take us through the rest of the Friday. We'll also be getting in a little bit of sports updates after that, and much more still to look forward to. So do not go anywhere. We take a short break. We'll be back.
Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Well, if it was an emphatic finish from Mutanwa to bring Zambia level, that's an even better one.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.